Hello, everybody. It is Blind Metal Gamer here with you once again, and it is now time for another discussion as we discuss today's Nintendo Direct, and we discuss what we have learned about the Nintendo Switch 2 coming June 5th, 2025. Yes, it will be released worldwide June 5th, 2025, and the price will be between $3.99 and $4.99. So if you round that off to the nearest whole dollar, that's $400 and $500. I knew they were going to do this as far as the pricing, the SKUs as they're called, um, because they got to get that dollar bill, y'all. They got to get it. Um, as far as what we know, okay, I want to kind of do this a little differently. I'm going to talk about accessibility first. You're thinking, oh, let's talk about the games first, Blind. Let's talk about those great games coming to the Switch too. Let's discuss them. We're going to get there, folks. Don't worry. We're going to get there. But I want to discuss accessibility first because, by God, they give a damn about accessibility. They woke up and got it. So, okay, we're going to start with this. There will be a contrast mode where you can darken the background of the screen to make the text easier to read. There will be two size options for text, large and max. So you'll get the regular large and max text. You'll have color options for text. So for colorblind folks, you can select the color. And by God, this is one that I just screamed with passion when I heard about it. The Nintendo Switch 2 is getting a full on screen reader. By God, it's getting a screen reader. It's going to be damn useful for blind players. That's going to be a useful, useful tool because, for years, everybody in the blind gaming community has been clamoring for this. Screen reader on the Switch 2 finally coming. Now, what I'll be curious to know is will you have to enable the screen reader by going into the accessibility menu? Will that require sighted assistance? I'm not sure. I'm probably not going to pick up a Switch 2. There's going to be full button remapping, which is great for players with motor disabilities. Um, and as far as the Joy Cons, they're going to connect magnetically. There'll be release buttons to release them from the magnets that's going to hold them in place, which is great. Let's see. You're probably wondering, hey, Blind Metal Gamer, what does that C button do? What does it do? What does it do? Come on, tell me. It's the chat button. They've not done content creation yet. They're probably gonna maybe add that in, or they've not discussed it. But the chat button will allow you to use cross game chat on the Switch 2. This is a good thing. The system will have a built-in noise canceling mic. That's good, for parents that want to watch what their kids are saying or who their kids are talking to. And the parental control app will be usable with the Switch 2 to limit, to make sure if kids need permission to use the voice chat or not. Now that's good because, again, hey viewers, what's up? Hey, what up, man? What up, Nada? Welcome to the stream. We're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 tonight. So okay, as far as the chat feature, that's gonna be cool. Um, I can see that being useful as far as accessibility. Um, and then they started talking about the games. Of course, they start talking about Mario Kart World. Uh, the Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom are both getting re-releases for the Switch 2. Now, I noticed a feature in, I think it was Breath of the Wild. It was called Zelda's Notes. It's going to be that will be useful for navigational assist for blind players. Now, one thing I was hoping for, and I hope that Nintendo takes advantage of this, and I hope that somebody from Nintendo is watching this video either live or going to watch it on demand. You have a built-in screen reader for your console. Take advantage of it. Use it. Open source the hell out of it. That way, third-party developers can use that screen reader to make their games accessible on the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. So that is a good thing. Having that screen reader is a good thing. That means all the players, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, all have a screen reader on their consoles as of June 5th, 2025. Um, hey, what up, man? But yeah, we're talking about Nintendo Switch 2 tonight. Okay, so what are some of the games coming? We know about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They're getting re-releases. We know that Hogwarts Legacy is coming to Switch 2. Let's see. I believe. Oh my God, what was that other game that they announced? I forget the other one that they had said. I was watching the video, and I'm drawing a blank. It's damn it, I can't remember. But the cartridges are going to be red. They're going to be red in color, and I think they're going to work with a special micro SD card, I believe. And yes, supported Nintendo Switch games will be compatible with the Switch 2. So for those of you who are wondering, it will have backwards compatibility, albeit in a limited capacity. So there's that. Um, so there's that. Um, let's see what else. We know it's coming out June 5th. They're releasing a new Pro controller that'll have an a headphone jack. That's going to be very useful, and I could see people, that want to be, have the privacy there. They'll have it. So that's a good thing, and it's also going to have that C button for chat. Now, they did mention you can screen share your games with other players online. What I'm curious is to know is they didn't talk about live streaming your gameplay to YouTube. They didn't talk about live streaming to Twitch. I wonder if they're just going to maybe put that in a future update, or if they might release that on the Switches or the Switch 3 or whatever the next system will be. Um, so we won't have long to wait. June 5th, 2025. Honestly, I'll probably not be picking up one of these because I want to see what they have to offer. And like I said in last night's stream, Blind Metal Gamer is a one console man. I don't do multiple consoles in the Blind Metal Gamer household. You see, in the Blind Metal Gamer house, you get one and that's what you get. Now, if I had the space, I would get a Switch 2 just to see how accessible it would be. It would be neat to see how accessible it'll be and how much more improved accessibility will be. Um, that's a definite. But maybe I can snag it at maybe a friend's house or something and give my assessment then. So there's that. Um, hey, Hubcase and Wonder, what's up? We're talking about the Switch 2 tonight. So yeah, I didn't hear anything about Mortal Kombat. Uh, I know that Square Enix is putting something on the Switch. I think a remaster of the Switch 2, a remaster of some sort. They did mention about the Joy Cons, how they're gonna have mouse functionality. That is cool. And the first thing that they talked about as far as upgrades was Mario Party Jamboree. Now this is going to be a Switch 2 upgrade, and you can purchase all the stuff with an upgrade pack. Again, this you knew this was coming as far as monetization. You knew that. I mean, come on, they're going to get you somehow, and that's how they're going to get you. Um, I'm not familiar with what comes with each version, the $3.99 version or the $4.99 version of the Switch. I know that your boy Blind Motor Gamer is not paying those exuberant prices. Blind Metal Gamer bought a PS5, and that's what I'm sticking with. But I wanted to cover this because I give a damn about accessibility. I give a damn about it. And when I read that it's going to have a screen reader, I jumped for joy. And it'll also have a gray screen mode, so you can make the screen gray if you need it. So there's that. Now, as far as based on what we're getting, they say it's going to be about as powerful as a PS4. So that's not too damn bad as far as graphical fidelity and all this, because the PS4 is pretty cool. Um, and it will have 4K support when you hook it up in TV mode, so that's a good thing. Um, but I'm still curious as a content creator about the streaming options. If they're going to allow you to stream to YouTube or Twitch, if not right away, creators. But however, I do realize Nintendo has kind of a weird stance on YouTube and all that in live streaming their games. I know they're hardcore about DMCA takedowns. Oh my god. They are rough about it. So you got to understand too. You got to kind of look at it from both angles. So accessibility wise, I'm impressed with what they're offering with the Switch 2. I really am. So if I can get my hands on one after it's released, if I can get my hands on it and check out that screen reader and see how deep it is and how it works, I will definitely be giving you an assessment of it and my thoughts. But will I buy it personally? Probably not, because to me, one console is enough, and I don't need multiple. So, Chad, I got a question for you guys. Who all is going to be picking up a Switch 2 at launch on June 5th of 2025? I know I will not. I'm going to just sit back, relax, let them do their thing, and kind of just see how it unfurls. And then maybe later on, if I want something different, because I don't think they're going to have media apps on the Switch. I don't think they're going to have like YouTube and Twitch and all this. So I wanted to see what all it's going to offer the consumer. Then if I want something like that later on, I'll consider it. But again, for the now, I've got what I got and I'm content with it. Hey viewers, what's up? So yeah, as far as my thoughts on the accessibility, I think it's great. I think this will be good because, like I said, if they open source that screen reader, they can give more accessibility options to developers. And Nintendo, if you're watching this, use this screen reader on your console to make every game you make accessible to everyone, including blind and low vision players. Yeah, I'm going to bust your balls about it because you know why? You've got the resources now, you've got it down pat, and you can get it done. This is something industry wide that needs to change. I mean, because the blind accessibility piece is just very rare. So I wanted to just make that out there. If Nintendo is watching, I'm asking you as an advocate to please use that screen reader on all the games you remaster or develop to ensure that your games are accessible to as many consumers as possible. And I believe WWE 2K25 might be coming to the Switch too, but do not quote me on that. I think that was the other game I was thinking of earlier. So, So yeah, that's what was up. There wasn't any like new announcements as far as like Castlevania or Metal Gear Solid or Mortal Kombat Chaos Range coming to Switch 2. But you know, I think given that what we're gonna get on launch day, that's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be freaking awesome. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what they do as far as accessibility wise. And if you go to canIPlayThat.com, www.canIPlayThat.com, there's an article on the Switch 2 and what it's going to offer, and that's where I got the information about the screen reader, the contrast, the color stuff, and the gray screen. And I also, and it will have a zoom feature. I forgot to mention it will have a zoom feature, so that's a good thing. Um, as far as the accessibility page, they do have a dedicated accessibility page. So if you want to go check that out, I'm sure you can just Google Nintendo Switch 2 accessibility, and you'll find YouTube videos or something like that on there to check that out. Now, as far as um, what I hope to see in terms as a content creator, I want to talk about this. I've talked about accessibility. I've talked about games. I've talked about the social stuff. Now I want to talk about content creation because I mean, come on, Nintendo. This is your chance to really open up in that space. This is your chance to open up in a space that you can get a lot more consumers interested in your product. Think about it. You've got the accessibility now. You've got the online, you've got the game chat, you've got the GameCube library, which is awesome. But as a content creator, what I want to know is what do you bring to the table for content creators like myself who do live streaming, who do, video creating and things like that for YouTube and Twitch. Um, Again, my content creation is different in that I'm not doing it professionally. It's more of a hobby, but nevertheless, I'm stepping into the ring and giving it my all. Um, my thing that I want to know is will this Nintendo Switch 2 have features for content creators to be able to stream their gameplay on YouTube or Twitch or to capture their gameplay and share it that way? That's one thing I want to know. Um, so yeah, that's what I want to know, and I'm also interested in seeing what all they're going to bring over to the Switch too. So I'm going to keep an eye on things as far as what they're going to bring. In terms of original content, original games, because I want to know if some of this is going to be multi-platform. I mean, I really do because they're going to have cross-gen Switch and Switch 2 titles. You know that. They're going to have those in there. Oh my God, they got to get their money. They got to get their money. They got to get their money. Money, 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 money. Uh, at the end of the day, that's the song they sing is money. So that's what's up. So yeah, that's what's up. Now, as far as does this have a chance to be screwed up? Yeah, it does. I mean, when the Wii U dropped, it flopped. Now, I don't think this is going to be screwed up because man, the fact that they got all those accessibility features in there, that means they're going to draw more consumers. For example, motor disability, blind, low vision. All these people are going to finally, finally get to experience a Nintendo console with good accessibility. Now, as far as pricing, again, I believe the pricing is between $400 and $500. And as far as game chat, you will have to have a Nintendo Online membership to use game chat. So that is a requirement. So just for those of you who are going to buy it day one, keep that in mind. Do keep that in mind that Nintendo Online is required to be a game chat user. Now I don't know if they're going to increase the cost of Nintendo Online. I didn't get that far into the weeds. I just wanted to discuss accessibility because that's what I care about. Um, So, that's why I wanted to do this. I wanted to let you all know what was going to be on there, and I said I was going to do it, and I did it. So, with that being said, I think I pretty much covered everything. So, if anybody in the chat has anything that I didn't cover, please put it in the chat below. And as always, if you like what you're seeing, you want more, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and by God, I'll see you in the next one, and I'll see you in the next online game stream. Until next time, I've been your host, Blind Metal Gamer, saying, stay strong, stay safe, stay dry, and so long, everybody.